of habit, so that's how
Well,
they've
I'm
been
not.
taught.
I'm not a people.
I know it. I
I'm
know
a
it.
habit
You're a
people.
creature.
I'm a preacher.
We are live. I can
Better
hear
be
my
careful.
voice.
Yep.
If we can get the sheriff to sit down, we'll get this meeting.
Excuse me.
For those of you that don't study county government, we're live. To the 4 people on YouTube, welcome. And for those of you that don't know county government, the coroner is the only one that can arrest the sheriff. So as long as I stay in good graces with the coroner, I feel very safe. If you all please stand, Commissioner Adams will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and Commissioner Hale will follow in prayer as we open the Morgan County Board of Commissioners meeting for the December 18th, 2023.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you bow your heads, please? Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you for all the things that we take for granted every day, like just having fresh drinking water, having shelter that so many people don't even have, Lord. But we thank you for that precious gift that you give us in your Son, Jesus Christ, who come and paid that terrible price for all of us, Lord. We just got to be willing to accept him as our Savior, and we just thank you for that gift. We thank you for the Holy Spirit to help guide and direct us. We ask for your wisdom and your knowledge to do your business as well as the taxpayers tonight. We ask it all in your name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Kenny, on your prayer, we gained 1 person, so if you ever want to become a preacher, you're calling them in. Treasurer's report.
I move to, wait a minute, first, yeah. We don't usually get these until we start getting them recently, and I'm glad we are, but I'm
It's one thing that the council had asked for, and
okay.
and I mentioned that we probably ought to get them also.
pretty interesting to see. I move to accept the county treasurer's monthly report.
Second.
We have a motion to accept the treasurer's report as presented, and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next, opening bids for farm lease. And she brought her envelope opener.
This is a cash rent bid for 2920 Lower Patton Park Road, $250 per year from Langford Farms.
Now you'll have to still out.
Did you say this is for both?
That's how I'd read it, for 1 and 2, for a total of.
Okay. 7609 State Road 44 and 7805 State Road 44, a total of $701 per year from Tony Derringer. Should keep that with that envelope. Cut that one in half. Voiles Farms offers a bid of 30% of the hay crop harvested from Leonard Road, hay-only parcel, located south of State Road 252 and west of Leonard Road.
Who was that from, Linda?
Voiles Inc.,
Boyles.
Voiles Farm Inc.
Voiles Brothers Grain, Inc. offers a bid of 33% of the crop value on date of harvest for Morgan County property referred to as Leonard Road row crops, located south of State Road 252 and west of Leonard Road.
While you're doing that, I'm over to get a pen, I'm just in water.
Okay, another one here. This is good. Milhon Farms bids a cash rent in the amount equal to 33% of gross value of the crop at harvest, payable on or before December 1 of each subsequent year, commonly known as 5400 Blue Bluff Road. Take this opener away from me. Cragen Farms LLC, 3641 South Lingle Road, Paragon. Lump sum cash rent of $400 per year. Cragen Farms LLC, 4005 South Lingle Road. Lump sum cash rent of $100 per year. Cragen Farms LLC, 3695 South Lingle Road. Lump sum cash rent of $442 per year. Cragen Farms LLC, 3823 South Lingle Road. Lump sum cash rent of $350 per year. Randy Pruitt, 2920 Lower Patton Park Road, lump sum annual bid of $120. John and Annette Fletcher, DBA J.D. Fletcher Farms, 7609 State Road 44 and 7805 State Road 44, for a combined total bid of $675 per year. John and Annette Fletcher, DBA J.D. Fletcher Farms, 2776 Dillman Road, $350 per year. Brent Sample, $500 for 5 acres on 4244 South Lingle Road. And that is all the bids.
So commissioners, do you want to compile the bids and
Did we have any duplications? Did we have any duplications on bidding?
Yes. 2920 Lower Patton Park, 250 for Langford and 150 for Pruitt. 7609 and 7805 State Road 44. 701 Derringer and 675 Fletcher.
I just think we just take the high bid.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Linda, we didn't have any bidders on 3960 South Lingle Road.
3960,
About a half acre.
we've got 4244 for 5 acres.
All of them got bid on except for that one, I know. And I know it's the smallest acreage.
3. 3695 South Lingle. That was 2.6 acres. 3641.
I don't think so. I don't recall.
I didn't write it down.
No, we do not have one for 3960.
Well, we do this every 3 years. This is land that we've acquired through FEMA and other means. We do recognize as a board, and we've discussed this at other meetings, that green soybean leaves and green corn leaves is our #1 economic product in Morgan County. And we want to continue to respect that, but at the same time, we get this acreage and we are allowed to collect a little bit of revenue for the taxpayers and at the same time utilize that in a farming operation. With that said, this is the first time since I've been commissioner that I have to address this. So do you just go to the highest bid, or do you take it under advisement and then we award them on our meeting the 29th? Or what is standard, what is appropriate?
Pretty much have always taken the high bid. That's what we've done.
Okay. Well, then I would need that in the
I'll
form
move
of
we
a
take the high
motion.
bid on the acreage that was offered, and then leave the, you have that .44 acres that's no bid on it. Is that correct?
Correct.
I think that's the only
We'll leave
one.
it open in case somebody wants to bid on it. As long as they're farming it with legal stuff.
There's always one that has no fun.
Kenny
Okay,
Hill
we have a bid.
seconds.
Are we good, ladies? We good?
Okay, so Don made a motion.
Kenny second.
Okay.
Any questions? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, I call for a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Martinsville Youth Center, Okra grant application. Okay. Was anybody on to come and present the? Josh, are you up on the Okra grant application? Okay. Gentlemen. Move on.
Yeah, I thought there was nobody here from from Shelby, it says, from the youth center. I'd rather them make that presentation before we make a decision. So I just.
Do you want to table it or
that.
didn't? Okay, we have is that in the form of a motion?
I do.
We have
Table.
we have a motion to table the grant application in a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Next up is the rezone ordinance 2023-28.
Good evening. I know you've got a long agenda tonight, so I'm here to answer questions for you. You've got this rezoning ordinance presented to you for Maple Turn Meadows, which is a very old subdivision and has always been zoned ag. So they've come forward to seek an appropriate zoning of residential R1. And it comes to you with a favorable recommendation from the Plan Commission, 8-0 and 1 abstention, Mr. Hale, so.
Yes.
Any questions?
Nope.
We approve ordinance 2023-28 from agricultural to residential R1.
Have a motion and a second. Any input from the public? Seeing none, I call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. While you're up here, we have rezone ordinance 2023-29.
This is for a minor plat on Waverly Park Road, and as a part of that, they have requested to rezone it from ag to R1. Same vote, 8-0 to 1. Favorable recommendation.
Yes.
Any questions? Hearing none, look for a motion.
Kenny Hill makes a motion, we have passed ordinance number 2023-29 from ag to R1 as well.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Any input from the public? Seeing none, call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Grant application, Sheriff's Office.
Evening, council. Thank you for having me. Appreciate seeing you. Meow Christmas.
Meow.
What I'm asking for is to get approval for one of my deputies to apply for a Walmart. It's a local community grant. It's a non-matching grant in the amount of $3,459 for the calendar year of 2024. And what he's wanting to get for this money is a thermal imaging type device to use for the SWAT team. So when they go out at night, if they're trying to look in someplace dark or in a house or something like that, we don't have anything right now at that time. So he's trying to go through the grant process to do that.
Pretty handy,
I hope so. Yes, exactly.
and saves you $3,459.
If you guys approve it and we get her done, it will. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
I can't imagine being a fireman without a thermal.
Yeah, exactly.
It is my eyes in every dark, when you can't see, that's, yeah, so I don't have a problem. Look for a motion to approve this grant application.
Kenny Hill makes a motion, we approve the Morgan County Sheriff's Department for the Wall Street local grant application in the amount not to exceed $3,459.
I'll second.
Second. Any questions, comments, concerns? Call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Merry Christmas.
Walmart.
Goodell Net SharePoint agreement.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
This is a project we've been wanting to get to the forefront for a few years now. The council graciously appropriated money for this next year. We knew that we were going after this. We also knew we were going to transfer money this year, which we've done. And so we can encumber that forward. And so we have the money finally ready to implement SharePoint, which will be essentially a data management tool for all of our departments to use. So we have continuity of information. It's going to be a platform for employees internally as well as storage of data, and it's where we need to move in this 21st century. So I'm happy we're finally there. It's going to come with a lot of griping, I think, at the start of the year.
Well, I'm glad to see it. It's been a while. And we have the funding from this SharePoint. Looks like something I'm excited about to get involved with and learn a lot. And I appreciate that we're finally getting that off the ground. I'll be very favorable towards this proposal.
Is that in the form of a motion, sir?
It is, sir.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any comments or concerns?
One question, when will that begin?
We'll start after the start of the year.
After,
What's the learning curve on that? Very simple.
Very simple, yeah. I mean, if you can use PowerPoint, you can use SharePoint. It's the building it out that's the hard part. And they're going to do employee engagement training sessions, but it's really easy.
No further questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Warren County Bridge Inventory Inspections, Phase 1.
Hello, Commissioners. We are here today to present the Phase 1 bridge inventory work. And as a reminder, this is a 4-year contract, but the inspection cycle is every 2 years. And Kyle Kent, I'm going to introduce Kyle. He's a structural engineer with our company, and he actually did a lot of the inspections and has been responsible for putting the report together. One other reminder is this contract, which I said is a 4-year contract, is paid 80% by the feds, so the county's only paying 20% of it. Kyle's going to kind of go through the report. We have this 2-page summary, but he's familiar with the bridges because he inspected most of them, and I've asked him to kind of keep his presentation to maybe 5 minutes, and then we'll try to answer any questions that you might have. But I think I introduced Kyle to Don and Brian earlier, but I didn't have the chance to introduce Kyle to Kenny. So, Kyle?
See, I've got some props with me. Good evening. I'm Kyle Kent with United Consulting. Our firm is under contract to provide inspection services for the Morgan County Bridge Inventory. This contract covers a 4-year period, which started in August 2022. Bridge inspections are required every 2 years for any county highway bridge with a span length greater than 20 feet. These inspections keep the county in compliance with the federal bridge inspection standards established by the Federal Highway Administration. As they too understand the need for safe and well-inspected bridge infrastructure, the Federal Highway Administration reimburses the county for 80% of the inspection costs on this contract. This evening, I'm presenting the 2022 Bridge Inventory Report based on our findings from the first phase of this inspection, which was completed in January and February of this year, 2023. Now, under normal circumstances, these inspections would have taken place in August of 2022. However, issues outside our control delayed the delivery of this report. Moving forward, the next routine inspection cycle will proceed on the original schedule in August 2024. So this report contains several summary reports which are useful to the county in understanding the condition of the bridges in your inventory. In addition to the summary reports, each of the 155 bridges in your inventory has an additional individual inspection report. These reports contain detailed information regarding our inspection findings. In the front packet of the binder that we'll give to you, you'll find a county bridge inventory map with a key to assist you in identifying the location and bridge number of any of the bridges you might be interested in looking at. Each report also comes with a flash drive with a digital copy of the report and an interactive map that allows you to click on any bridge and bring up the inspection report. To help you navigate through this big report, we've prepared this summary sheet that helps identify the location of the critical summary reports you might be interested in looking at. This summary sheet includes the location within the report where you can find a listing of maintenance needs for your bridges, a summary of the bridges that are posted with a load restriction, and perhaps of most interest to you, the priority schedule we've made for structures that should be programmed for replacement or rehabilitation in the near future. The county's done a great job addressing these recommendations and has already replaced 3 bridges from this priority list since the last inspection in 2020. On the back side of this summary sheet, you'll find some statistics about how Morgan County compares to the statewide averages. Depending on the structure type and volume of traffic, the anticipated service life of a bridge is typically in the range of 50 to 75 years. Around a third of the bridges in Morgan County are over 50 years old. However, due to the lower than average traffic volume on Morgan County bridges compared to the state average, your structures are more likely to see the upper end of that anticipated service life. So actually, if you look on the back of this summary sheet here, the average daily traffic stat shows that Morgan County has about half of the average traffic per bridge that the statewide average has. In order to ensure that you get the most life out of your bridges, the county should anticipate additional maintenance and repairs in the coming years. This work could include things like deck patching, bridge deck overlays, or placing additional riprap along the banks to prevent undermining of the substructure. The Highway Department understands the importance of this ongoing maintenance work and has been doing a really great job addressing the recommendations we've made. They've also been very responsive to addressing the critical findings encountered during the inspection process. One example of this responsiveness is the steel beam repairs at Bridge 73, which the county completed promptly. By effecting this repair so quickly, the county eliminated the need to post that bridge with a load restriction. It's been a great pleasure working with Morgan County this past year. Lisa Plummer has done an excellent job during the transitional period between county engineers. Justin Schneck has also been outstanding, working with us right from the start and treating us like part of his team. We greatly appreciate Justin and Lisa, and we look forward to continuing our work with them. Our goal with these bridge inventory contracts is to be an extension of the Highway Department. We work hard to understand your needs, and we do our best to customize each report to make it easy to follow and help you implement a plan to preserve the condition of your bridge inventory. We truly appreciate the opportunity to work with you on this project, and we look forward to continuing our relationship with Morgan County. This time, I'll answer any questions you might have.
One, I want to thank you, and two, I want to see which commissioner has not been doing their cyber security training on KnowBe4 and puts that flash drive into the computer.
There is no malware on this flash drive, I promise.
There's
I
one way to
loaded
get
them.
malware.
I loaded them
Yeah,
myself.
sorry, I can't look at our bridges. I've been trained.
Have you used that flash drive before? That's really, really handy.
Yeah.
Good. You've used it.
Yeah, I had. I was looking at Bridge 29 actually not too long ago, and, you know, we've got a lot of young folks here. I don't think they realize the importance of what we're doing, but government's responsibility is to make it sure that we have something continuing and improving for the future. And you guys, your bridges, you know, if we just build them and forget them, we're in trouble. But in cooperation with the federal government, quite a nice cooperation, like 80%, they fund the inspection, which gives us the plan that Kyle has kindly brought to our attention. And that's what the Highway Department then manages to, and the engineers put together so we can keep a safe county. I was down in, I forget the county. It's in southern Indiana. It had a wooden floor bridge. It was built in 1895. I have a special name for it that I won't mention right here. But when I crossed it, I made that comment. And I realized, I don't know what they're doing for bridge inspection down here. That thing needs to have been replaced years ago. And it's very frightening. I mean, when you see a bridge collapse, like has happened when I was a kid. We lost a bridge in Mooresville with a load of, I think it was fish, that were all over. Everybody had fish supper for a couple of nights there. But it's very important for safety and life and limb. And I appreciate the work that you guys do for the county.
Well, like Kyle said, we really appreciate the opportunity to work on this project, and we have these 3 books, these large books, and I think we'll give them to Justin after the meeting or now, and then he can distribute them however he wants to. But that flash drive is really, really a nice tool.
It is. It's handy as a pocket, and appreciate it. I left I've got the flash drive at home, and I got the big one up here so I can pull out and see things faster, but not faster, but see more. I like both. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Nice meeting
One
you.
of those copies, I think, stays in the commissioner's office.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just helping Justin so we don't have to carry them all back to.
I think I'm up for the next item, too.
We'll go right ahead with the Morgan County Bridge 29 Design Supplemental Contract.
Okay, so Bridge 29 is Mahaleysville Road over Indian Trace Creek, and as Don mentioned, this is a federally funded project, so you're getting investment back from the federal highway. They're paying 80% of the cost of this project. Now, these additional services, this is an amendment to our contract that is required to add some additional services that we were not aware of at the time of the original contract. And there's basically 2 items. There is a Section 106 environmental portion of the contract that is $25,650. And that is actually a service that we do not provide, but Metric Environmental will provide that as a sub-consultant to us. And then we're adding some land acquisition services, which are appraisals, review appraisals, and land acquisition management. And these are required to follow the procedures at NDOT for acquiring land for the project. And these services are all reimbursed at 80%. Justin has worked out with NDOT and the Federal Highway to get these services rolled into the federal reimbursement. So of the $32,865, the county is only responsible for about $6,600. So that's a good thing. So we're just requesting approval of this contract amendment so that we can keep this project moving forward. And again, once we go to construction, the construction is funded at 80% as well. And like I say, we've coordinated this with Justin, so he's aware of this.
He's aware and nodding.
Is he
And I will,
nodding? Okay, good.
Move to go ahead and proceed to approve this supplemental contract.
Have a motion to approve the supplemental design contract for Bridge 29. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions from the audience?
Thank you, commissioners. We appreciate everything.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. It passes. NDOT State Road 39 unofficial detour.
Did you see that?
Not officially.
Oh, gosh. They're gonna close 39 over there by, between, what I call the north, right, about halfway up 39 to Monrovia, and they're gonna chase the people back. Nobody's gonna use that sucker.
And if they do, they're gonna get lost. We'll set up a lemonade stand.
But they said they'll keep Rob Hill and fix it for us if they get a lot of traffic on it, but I got a feeling nobody's gonna drive off Rob Hill.
I agree with you, Commissioners. I think Rob Hill will see an increased volume of traffic due to this project and the short detour it'll take. NDOT will not sign Rob Hill as an official detour. However, it's inevitable that local traffic will take it. Due to that, NDOT is willing to work with us and enter into, they've sent a letter of agreement, which, looking through my packet, I've failed to attach the actual agreement to the packet I gave you. But it's a standard boilerplate letter from NDOT that's used on all their projects that involve these unofficial detours. And basically what we will do is we will use a video device to, rate the condition of the roadway prior to the project. We'll monitor the condition through construction and then compare the condition after construction with the pre-existing condition. If we find some damage, NDOT will pay for that or reimburse us for the work to repair that roadway with their review and approval. So I'm sorry for failing to include that agreement, but I will get that to you if we can agree to that we will work with NDOT on this project.
Any questions?
I have no questions.
Comment, I think Wilbur Road and Baltimore is gonna see a lot of that detour traffic as well. It's a lot straighter shot. But if the chair's ready, I'd go ahead and make a motion. We approve the NDOT State Road 39 unofficial detour for Rob Hill, on Rob Hill Road.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions from the public? Seeing and hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same side.
Thank you, Justin.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you. I'm actually up here for the next item too, if you'll bear with me.
Small structure inventory consultant selection?
Yes, so this item is really similar to the bridge inventory inspection that Kyle just presented. Small structures are a vital asset to our county, and it is imperative that we inspect their current condition to help us prioritize which structures we need to rehabilitate and replace in which order. So in order to select a consultant for this contract, we sent out an RFP detailing the scope of work, and we had 3 teams submit interest for this contract. A scoring committee consisting of Don Adams, myself, and Lisa Plummer in our office reviewed all of the LOIs, and we have found that United Consulting, Crossroad Engineers, and Banning Engineering as a team to be the most qualified for this project. I think with their recent experience with our bridge inventory and the quality of work in there, I am more than sure that they will be able to handle this project. The total contract amount is for $453,625. We have some funds in our 2023 budget to encumber into next year, in addition with some contractual services with our 2024 budget to cover this project. I'm asking for your approval to execute the contract. I believe you guys have a copy of the contract, but if not, I have several copies here.
Any questions for Justin?
No, but I thank him for showing me how to do a scoring. I'd never done one before, and it's very interesting and very fair. I appreciate the bidders were close and effective. I liked what I made my judgment, so that's what we do.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any additional comments? Any questions from the, yes, ma'am?
A small structure is any large culvert that has a span of less than 20 feet. So it could be, in this contract, we're inspecting culverts from 4 feet up to just under 20 feet.
And you might say how long it's been since we've done that.
Our last inspections were in 2015. Usually these are done on a 4 or 5 year cycle, so we are a full cycle behind. So we're looking to catch up and help prioritize our projects.
You know, small structures, I've seen a few go out before the big structures do, so
Exactly.
you need to keep a lid on them.
Look for a motion to accept the small structure inventory consultant.
I was so moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any public input or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Justin.
Engagement letter, Baker Tilly.
Good evening. This is an engagement letter for arbitrage services. The investments that we've made, and you all may know and the public may not know, but we invested the bond proceeds we got for the buildings that we're working on, and we are potentially making more interest than we can support and keep our bonds tax-free. That's called arbitrage, and so we're asking to do an interim calculation. We would have done one normally a couple years from now, but we want to do an interim one, because if we do collect too much interest and we don't pay it back to the federal government, then our bonds could lose their tax-free status. And it's at time and material, but it's estimated to be about $3,500.
$3,500? To keep us in compliance on all the bonds that we're issuing. Any questions?
None.
Comments from the public? Good question. Thank you. Any other questions? Call for a vote? Or a motion? Sorry.
Yeah, I'll make the motion, then I'll vote.
Second.
Yeah. So you made the motion, and we
approve
have a
it.
second? Any additional comments or concerns? Call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Some would say low, some would say low.
I'm going to say Lao. The treasurer and I are asking to enter a contract with Lao Associates for tax preparation software. A few years ago, Dan Baston came to you to enter a contract with Exsoft, but they sold us a product that was not compatible for Morgan County. So we were able to get out of that contract. Lau has been in this business since 1975. Right now, they are in 72 of the 92 counties in Indiana. We're using them for the financial software. They have an excellent support team. And I think this should help with accuracy and prompt tax billing and the collections process.
The old days of the hand ledgers have gone to the way of software. Look for a motion to accept the,
Wait for Kenny.
it's awful nice of you.
You know, when I first saw this and read it, I thought that was a pretty pricey sticker, but it looks like it's very important. And there's not much in the way of competition.
No, there is not much.
I mean,
Shrinking.
that's, pardon?
They're shrinking, yes.
Yeah, they're shrinking, so,
The
yeah.
company we are with now.
And if we don't do it right, it's a mess.
Yeah.
I mean, a terrible mess. So
Yeah.
I'm glad we've still got somebody doing a capable job, and I'll make a motion, we go ahead and approve this, is it a contract? Is that what we're making here?
Yes.
Lau property tax software contract.
The property tax for, you say that Lao instead of low?
It's Lau.
Lao, allow, we get the property tax software contract with Lao?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions from the public? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thanks, Linda.
Morgan County EDC agreement.
This is the annual agreement we sign with the EDC. We're one of a number of the member communities that participate in that. It's the same amount that we've used for the last number of years, $75,000 annually.
Any questions of the commissioners?
Nothing, I just want to clarify for some of our younger folks here, they use all kinds of acronyms around here. And EDC is the Economic Development Corporation, which is the group that is very active right now in seeing what they can do to ensure positive growth in our development of economic. They're busy right now doing all kinds of things, finding places and putting people together that might buy it and that kind of thing. It's a very important part of our economic development is to have an organization that functions that way. And we've got a good director and we've got a good county that's got a lot of, I guess you'd say, eye appeal. And so they're busy, and I'm glad to see them busy. So I move that we go ahead and approve this, what do they call it? Economic Development Corporation, Economic Development Service Agreement. Yeah, service agreement with our EDC.
We have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions from the public? Comments?
Yep, that's about it. The two big corporations, two big towns, or one city, one town in the county.
I think they're back in.
Yes,
They're back in.
Monrovia's in it too.
Have been for a couple of years.
Right, they went out and they came back. They saw the need.
Any other questions? Call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Passes 3-0. Core agreement.
Yes, if you guys may recall, the council approved us to do, it's a redundant fiber loop. We currently have one direct path from our dispatch center to our jail as well as to this facility. And so we asked last year if we could make a redundant loop so that we don't get knocked out of commission if somebody's, boring, put in a water line, anything that could damage our fiber line, so we don't lose that information. This is the quote. It's the firm that takes care of all of our fiber. They take care of our splicing. If something gets damaged, they replace it for us, and they provide all of our network connectivity. And so I'm submitting that to you guys tonight so that we can encumber those dollars we have for this year to match what the council gave us for next year.
Looks good.
Any questions about this contract, this estimate? Call for a motion.
Kenny Hill makes motion, we approve the core agreement.
A second.
And a second. Any questions from the public? Call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ordinance 23-27, disposition of personal property.
He's back there.
I'll go give a quick introduction, and then Rich can talk about what he's getting rid of. So we passed an ordinance similar to this a few years ago. There's essentially three types. You can sell something, you can recycle something, and you can declare something surplus and needs to be disposed of. So this ordinance is specifically that. Exhibit C is attached with all the material that the sheriff wants to get rid of, and I'll let him talk to you about that.
Yep.
These, Counselor, are old tasers that are no longer, that you can't get anything for. Taser no longer, what's the word I'm looking for? Supports them. That's what I was going to look at. No longer supports these tasers, so we want to get rid of them and destroy them.
Kenny Hill makes motion, we approve ordinance number 2023-27, ordinance approving disposal of personal property, as well as the list on the back.
That's what I was
Gotta look at
reviewing.
that
They're all tasers.
All
Everything's a taser.
Yeah, they're all tasers.
No one even snuck in there like
Yeah, like,
item sheriff department, MCSD,
Yeah.
quantity one.
tried to, but. no,
I
they wouldn't
wouldn't
let me
have
do it. Yeah.
You're lucky I'm not doing your bookkeeping. Have a motion on the floor to allow the sheriff to remove his, liquidate his old tasers. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments, or concerns? Call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you, sir. I have two conflict of interest statements before me, one from Auditor Linda Pritt and one from Councilman William R. Chip Keller. They're disclosing their possible conflicts of interest for public record. Any questions, comments, or concerns? And if not, I'd look for a motion to accept these two letters.
Kenny Hill makes a motion, we approve the two uniform conflict of interest disclosure statements.
I'll second.
Any questions from the public? Call for a vote. All in favor of accepting these letters,
Oop, excuse me, I was ahead of you.
say aye.
Aye.
Pass, thank you. Resolution approving pledge of tax increment.
So there's nothing to vote on tonight. This will be up for the 29th agenda, but we wanted to make sure and put this before you guys. So kind of as a review, West Point TIF District has been out there since the early 2000s. We recently, in conjunction with the RDC, restructured that. The original TIF, which had pledged all TIF dollars to Hendricks County, was restructured so that that's no longer the case. We've now expanded the TIF. We now have assessed value that's actually in there, so we'll start generating. And new bonds will be issued. we will pledge 50% of our new TIF area, if you all approve this on the 29th, to that development region. Hendricks County will be in charge of issuing the bonds. Our contractual agreement will stop at the 50% revenue generation over the life of that TIF. One thing to keep in mind, we negotiated with the developer through that, and so we will receive, when the bonds are issued, $600,000 to be spent for our public safety in the area, specifically towards building an EMS facility that's permanent in that area. So that's one thing that we fought to get for our taxpayers through that. But this will be the last step. If you guys approve this on the 29th, it'll be all ready to go.
So what action do you need this evening?
Just to hear it and then be ready on the 29th to take a vote one way or the other.
Any questions for Josh? Next on the agenda, under new business, is appointments.
Do we need to approve that resolution? Not what?
Next,
Next meeting.
Oh, next meeting. I'm sorry, I was reading instead of listening. I got in trouble with that all the time. Okay, thank you.
I used to tell my school teachers,
See what?
I was reading, not listening. I'm sorry, school teacher.
They always told that to me.
For those
I
that you
was
don't know,
reading,
Don
Joe.
is a retired school teacher. That's why he has the patience to deal with a guy in a cat suit. Appointments.
Well, we've got a slew of them to check out. And those important positions. I think, I don't know where I put it, that back of my, I don't know where it went. I've got that, but I thought I had the list that had the yellow list on it.
He's probably in there. There it is.
There it is, there it is. So how do we want to go about this? So,
What do you think, Mr. Hale?
well, we got to make we got to make these in first of the year.
Correct.
There's some,
I know there's one that we need to announce tonight.
here's one we need to announce tonight.
He's got a whole family sitting back here.
Looks like he's got a whole family. I think maybe we can go ahead and make that appointment.
I don't have a problem with it.
You want to make that appointment?
Sure. Kenny Hill makes a motion, and we go ahead and appoint the new county highway superintendent as Mr. Eddie Fisher.
Hi, Eddie.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'd like to thank you, Brian, Don, Kenny, for coming to the conclusion and getting this. I really appreciate the opportunity and you guys being able to come to agreements and making this happen. And I look forward to moving forward with positive things for the county highway. And thank you. And thank you to all the people that supported me, coworkers, family. People that don't know me, my background, I came from the Department of Natural Resources. I was a heavy equipment operator and a wildland firefighter. A prior business owner before that, came to the county highway as a crew boss running District 3. And really look forward to doing this, trying to help the community. And thank you both. Thank all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie. Look forward.
That interview process was long and drawn out. Welcome to the job. And I did think it was fitting that we had talked about announcing this, that we got our first squall line come in. I thought, It's probably on a snow and sleet and hell before he even gets in there and gets yelled at. I'd also like to thank Charlie, because I see him sitting out there, for filling in for the second or third time since I've been in here for 3 times. Thank you.
I was also thinking about bringing you in a cot so you could kind of make sure you know, there'd be times you might not make it home. Just telling your family that, this is the way it works. I'm gonna have to also beg that I might want to come down some evening when it's not a real bad snow. I don't want to go out when it's crazy, but I'd like to kind of just be a part of that down there. It's a great service to the county. I have been in this seat some time, and I think people look at the highway before they look at anything else. Can I get to work? And they really, I think the best news I can ever hear from somebody is that, you know, I live in Johnson County, and I was sure glad when I got to Morgan. And I shouldn't say that because there's Johnson County people be aggravated at me, but the highway department has a reputation and has a goal to keep of making sure we have good, safe roads, especially during the wintertime. And also get used to the phone calls. We'll just pass them on. Say, call Eddie. He'll take care of it. All right.
Well, Eddie, to make it a little bit more formal, Mr. Hill made the motion, I will second it, and then I will call for a vote that we approve the appointment of Eddie. We kind of got the cart in front of the horse there.
No, we didn't get it all
That's
wrapped
right.
up.
So all in favor of Mr. Fisher being the appointed highway superintendent, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Thank you again. These other appointments, I guess we should do our due diligence and call and make sure that they want reappointed, and if it's like you're on the South Central CAP, you want reappointed to that. I just got the list and I haven't contacted anybody. Have you, Kenny, to see if they want reappointed?
I know I've talked to some of them that we already approved, like Chuck Christopherson. We did that here just recently, and I thought we did it immediately because Joe Marlin was wanting out of it because he's moving. He's probably already moved with that new house done.
Kenny, it wasn't specified whether it was to fill the remainder of the term or so.
Yeah, probably, so we need to redo it. Yeah, he was finishing the term. And then we have to now reappoint him. So we'll do that. We'll do all these in January, correct? First couple weeks in January. I think we've gone farther
We try not to.
than January, but I'd like to get them wrapped up before. Why don't,
I would do
Hey, you want-
something right now. I'd go ahead and make a motion that we approve all the reappointments for 2023 appointment record for 2024, except for the county attorney one that we just interviewed all the appliquees for. All the rest of them, I'd go ahead and just reappoint all of them.
I'll second that.
well, are we sure they want to take it?
They don't, they'll let us know.
Once they enter the board, they never leave. They made
No, and I
made a
spent-
movie like that called The Firm.
I bet I spent probably 8 or 9 hours calling everybody last year, and I just, yeah.
They all
Unless
want-
you want to take up on doing that, I'll let you.
No.
Okay.
We
Most
could
most
divide
of
it
them
up.
tell us if they don't want on, so I would,
Yeah, I think
I
we-
would blanket that, and then if we can reach out and this, if they don't want it, then we'll have to scramble
And we
then.
can't, yeah,
So
all
we
right.
got a motion and a second.
yep.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes 3-0. And I have to say, in my 3 years, that was the, thank you, Kenny, because that was the easiest I've ever done appointments. Normally, it's like March. Okay, under old business, we have lease termination agreement, Center Point.
We still got a few others here, Brian, we need to get back to on the appointments.
Besides the yellow sheet.
I would make a motion that we reappoint Diane Herkamp for the Mooresville Public Library, as well as, let me see here, this one here is, we already did that one. The other one, we already did as well. Diane's the only one we didn't cover.
Ashley
Is she in here?
Ashley Duke instead of Diane?
Well, she's already in here in yellow. I didn't think Diane was,
I don't, do we, yeah, Mooresville, I don't think we make an appointment of Diane.
why do we have a letter here, Don?
She might think we do. Did she send it to you?
Is it for? It's on behalf of Ashley Duke.
The what?
She wrote the letter to appoint Ashley Duke,
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
That you just approved.
and she,
He is on here.
yeah,
Yeah,
so we're good.
you're good. Thank you. My fault.
Nope, it's confusing. Centerpoint. The lease that never goes away.
Yeah, we thought we had it figured out, but we found out CenterPoint is adding 0.1 acres to the amount of land that they need. The state code has changed, and so we have to go through a whole new process. So our attorney is talking with CenterPoint's legal attorney for us to be able to finish this properly.
So we need to
I
table
would-
it again.
Table
I
again?
would table it until,
We get an attorney.
yeah, until we get them to sign off on it. There's nothing new to add. But we're talking 0.3 acres, I think, something to that effect, where they already have all their utilities for gas. For the public, this is something that's been a 100-year lease that they can renew as many times as they want. Once CenterPoint bought out Vectren, they want to convert any of these they have around the country into fee simple property as opposed to leases.
Look for a motion to table the lease termination agreement.
Second.
Aye?
Aye.
EMA SOPs.
Yes, she did. She asked if she could go home, but I think she's talked to us. We tabled this last time because it was a big document and I hadn't read it yet, and some of you might not have read it. I still haven't read the whole thing completely. Well, I have done a pretty good job of it, going through it. And I talked to Abby tonight. It was really very informative to help me understand what our EMA, that is an acronym for you young people. It means Emergency Management Agency. When we have a tornado or if we have a huge problem with flooding or anything like that, or a bomb goes off on Martinsville High School, which we hope never happens, any emergency like that is their ballgame. They plan for it ahead of time. They put all the resources, they know what to do. They don't sit around and say, oh, geez, what are we going to, who's going to take care of that? I want to give a real fast story. A few years ago, I had a friend live down by Stanford, Monroe County. They had a tornado. My friend called and said, we just experienced a tornado. I said, okay, I'm headed that way. I jumped in the car, grabbed my chainsaw, and headed down towards Highway 45. And on the way, I called Monroe County EMA. And I said, you know, what you guys got cooking down there on, I mean, you know, when you get a blank from an EMA after a tornado, you're in trouble. We won't have that happen in Morgan County, I'll tell you. We've got Ashley, she's on top of it. We know what's going to happen. You can't think of anything well, you probably, you know, something might weird happen, but they know what to do when the rubber meets the road. They can take care of it. So I'm glad to see we've got a good EMA department, and I welcome anybody to take a look at their SOPs and see what the heck they do. So I'll go ahead and approve, I'll make a motion to approve their SOPs that Abby's put together.
Second.
And a second, any questions or input from the audience? Call for a vote, all in favor, say aye. Aye. SOPs, it's a living document, so those will be reviewed.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to call for a vote on whether the audience felt that that was a short story or a long story?
Oh, man.
Just,
Depends on.
that's just where my mind went. Trash removal
I thought
quotes.
it was pretty short.
It was for you.
Don, Alan, you were
I'll buy
saved by
that.
the fact that Brian can't make a motion. Michelle, our maintenance director, is on vacation this week, so I'm covering for her. We were looking for a change. Waste management, bought out raise. Prices have been going up, services been going down. So we put out for bid our trash service across all of our locations. There's a few that we missed that will roll into this contract by addendum later, but Jack's came in the cheapest. Michelle has all those in your packet. We also have a rental agreement with Jack's that our attorney has reviewed. Everything's in good order, so if you guys are comfortable with her making that switch, she's ready to make it immediately.
Need a motion to accept the proposal for Jack's Trash Service to take over our refuge.
Kenny Hill makes that motion.
Second.
Any comments or concerns? Call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank
You
you.
want a story about trash?
No, because the coffee's working. Recycling update.
At your last meeting, we kind of set a goal to have a solution, if not permanent or temporary, just a solution for recycling by Christmas. We've come to that solution. It will be temporary. It will be at the Morgan County Fairgrounds. Thanks to Charlie for helping coordinate all this stuff. So starting on the 23rd, so just here in a few days, we'll have 5 bins there, commingled recycle like we used to have. We'll have the Best Way Disposal be our vendor. And we're back in business temporarily. And then we're going to hear about probably a more permanent solution. Hopefully, we'll get some numbers tomorrow. That's all I can really say right now on that. But as for what to do with your Christmas recyclables and stuff
Mattresses,
yeah,
no toilets.
we've got all kinds of flyers that'll go around on social media. They're already up now. If you have questions, call my office.
Are you gonna be
I'm
out
there. What's that?
Are you out there?
I'll be out there,
That'll help a lot.
yeah. And we'll have cameras.
We'll build a fence around you, make you stay.
Yeah,
We'll do
we're
a
getting
cabin.
fencing in a
Hey,
couple
one thing
days.
that came up in our admin meeting, we
Yeah.
need to, in the past, they've had a recycling program for Christmas trees, live Christmas
Yeah.
trees. And I think the city put that on so that the boys didn't have to pick them up at every
So
house.
Charlie said the city did it last year and borrowed the county equipment to.
So we
do
need
it,
to, we need to make a phone call.
I don't think they've
I don't want them
been in
sticking
touch.
Christmas trees
Right.
in these recycle bins. And at
Right.
the same time, if the cities, if we don't have a program, I'm not gonna read that, just like everybody else. I'm just gonna throw my stuff in there and then that's your problem. But
I'll be
if we're
there.
not doing Christmas trees, that needs to be posted as well, because for the longest time, everybody's taking them to the fairgrounds and dumped them off. So we need to have
I'll call them tomorrow.
and everybody's gonna see this and immediately associate Christmas tree recycling. So we need to be ahead of that. If they are, great, we can promote it. If not, we need to stop it.
Or I'll just call Bill Rumbaugh. He'll have the
There you
answer
go.
for that.
Correct. Correct. If they are.
We'll have lots of signage for our stuff, so.
I just see that possibly blossoming into a problem. So if we're proactive, since the fairground was gracious enough to allow us to do this, then maybe
Yeah.
they'll help us in the future too.
On their part, yeah.
Yeah.
If they're doing that, yeah. We don't want them at all, but if they're doing that, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
FYI, so the public knows, we are still actively seeking other solutions to the recycling project. It is not simple, but we are active behind the scenes. So FYI. Other business, transfer letter?
Kenny Hill makes a motion, we go ahead and approve the transfer letter in the amount of $109,212.90, insurance into account, workman's comp.
Second.
I have a question. Did we not already have that approved at the council meeting tonight?
Yes, we did.
So we got the cart in front of the horse again. So all in favor, say aye. It's already been approved.
Just makes it right.
Yep. Tort claims. Need a motion to send those on to our insurance carrier.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Motion passes. Any other business to come before this board? On the tort claims? For those of you that know, this is Council Lady Vicki Kivett. She offers me lots of guidance, one of which is she cannot believe that I own a cat suit that I bring out of the closet once a year at Christmas time. I did have one person tell me, I don't know how you ever get any votes when you dress up like a clown, but they don't know that 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with the C card, and didn't know at that time for a couple weeks whether or not I'd have another Christmas. And I swore right then, if I have another Christmas, I don't care, I'm gonna be as goofy. And you can ask the two Fisher boys in the back row that I fought and lived with at the firehouse. I'm goofy, not only here, I'm goofy everywhere, kind of like Sam I Am. So I just want, for the good of the county's next. Good question, maybe your first meeting, really don't know you. Call us out. That's your civic responsibility to come and make sure that we're honest and that why we may dress goofy, that we're not goofy with your tax dollars.
Well, I was just unaware of the limits that, county bonds, I didn't know there was a limit.
That was a great question. And I just want to thank everybody for coming here, and I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. And if you don't make it to the 29th meeting, which I'm not eager to show up for either, have a happy and safe New Year. Anything else good for the county? We did have 14 people, which might be a record. I don't know if it's the rest of Eddie's family watching on YouTube. But we had 14, and that's a record. The message is getting out of there. So, thank you. I look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. We are adjourned. Merry Christmas. Turn this thing on. Thank you for putting that trash can back. I don't know who did it, but they get a day off. That's been there for 23 of my 25 years.
I bet it was Sue.